Welcome back, Generals, to another Let's Fix Generals 0 Hour to make the best game ever. Okay, so last session we couldn't quite figure out why the particle's velocity is different with higher frame rates or smaller time scales, let's say. So I was wondering, maybe we can test with this one set to 0 as well. Oh, well, that won't work. Let's remove this here and let's test that. Yeah. So we need to figure out what exactly is wrong that makes particles behave differently when the render update is much faster than the logic update. Yeah. That is unclear to me. There should be no discrepancy. It should work correctly, but it does not. Why? Unclear. So. Whoa. Okay, that's a crazy particle. Okay, that's extreme. So let's say we have 30. Whoa. God damn. Okay. That's that's interesting. So okay. Okay, it's okay, well, it looks consistent at least, right? Yeah. Damping. Interesting. Okay, so the damping is very much crucial. Yeah, so it's not clear to me if. So I'm wondering if, let's say we have. Let's open our calculator. Yeah. Let's say we have a dampening of 0.8. Yeah, and now we have a time scale of 0.1. Yeah, so that's 0.8. Now, if we do a 0.8, so let's say we have now. Okay, so if we have the 0.08. Okay. So if we then do 0.08, let's do times 0.2, which is the range from 0.8 to 1. So 0.16. That seems like a lot, or not? And so So 1 minus this is at 984. Okay. So let's remember this value. And let's do a 0.8 to the power of 0.1, or how much is that? 0.779. So it's close to this 984. Yeah. It is close. So what if we don't do power, but we do const real well damping? Well damping, so this value times time scale, and then times one minus that. How do we write it the simplest way? We have a 0, 1 minus this. Time scale 0.08. Okay, and then 1.0f minus the whole thing here. So write like this. Does that make sense? So that would be a different kind of dampening. Well damping times time scale 1 minus well damping. So this one is 1.08, 0.1684. Yeah. Okay, let's give this a spin. Okay. So let's give that a spin. Oh, well, that still looks weird. Why is that? Oh. Okay, that's unexpected. 0.71 times scale. Okay, I don't understand why it looks so wrong now. That is totally unexpected. Why is that? Time scale, did we screw up anything else? Let's remove the other hacks we have here. Why is this so weird? I don't understand. Okay, why is there so much split apart now? That I don't understand. What did we do now? Let me put a breakpoint here. Okay, so the dampening is a bit different now. But still, why is he... I don't understand. Did we actually install it? Yeah. Okay, let's take the other dampening again. Yeah. Man, this is outrageous. Okay, now it looks normal. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Damping. Okay. So. Maybe it happens because this may have like a weird start value, so Okay, I don't know what to think about this. How about we put a fixed dampening of, I don't know, let's do... So we look at this reference particle, and this one is dampening something between 80 and 90. How about we just put a fixed 0.85 F for testing? Yeah. Okay. Let's see. But let's do. So we have 0 to 85, and then to the power of 0 to 5. So let's put 9 this way. Yeah. Okay. But that's not right because it won't scale. No, we can't do that. I don't know how to test this. So we have 0.8. 0.8 times 0.1. Okay. What if we divide by 0.1? So 0.8 divided by, it's 8. Well, that's not helpful. Okay, so 0.08. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what to do with this here. Let me ask chat for some ideas. So we have this, yeah. So I've written the time scale, time scaling, like the following, and it looks mostly okay, but there's a very slight discrepancy at different time scale ratios. Why? There's a very slight velocity discrepancy. Expected, and it's a really good sign you're close. What? Comes from a subtle but fundamental issue. You're mixing a discrete integrator with fractional time steps. The core problem? Integration order. Your update does this. V plus equal damping time scale. This is effectively apply acceleration, apply damping, move using the new velocity. Semi-implicit Euler step. What? Why small discrepancies appear? Even though you scale everything by time scale, this is still not perfectly time invariant because Euler integration is not time scale invariant. If you compare one full step, time scale 1, 2 half steps twice, they are not exactly equal. Why? Because acceleration and damping are applied in a specific order. Intermediate states differ. Damping and acceleration interaction is non-linear. You're doing velocity plus acceleration times scale times damping to the power of scaling, but the true continuous solution is Jesus Christ. Whatever that is, damping and acceleration are coupled, not independent steps. Your method splits them, introduce a small error. Position uses post-damped velocity. But physically, position should integrate velocity over the interval. Okay, how do I fix that? You're approximating a curve like this. Real motion, smooth exponential curve. You method tiny straight segments. Changing time scale changes how those segments are subdivided. Okay. Why it's only very slight? Because your time step fractions are small, is correct. Semi-implicit is relatively stable. Yeah. The error is tiny. Okay. How to reduce it? Option 1, accepted. This is normal. Okay. Use average velocity. Improve position integration. Use average velocity. Right. Old well. Reduces discrepancy noticeably, still cheap. You put in an old velocity? An old velocity. Aha. Okay. So you scale it together with the one from the previous frame. Uh-huh. That's good, yeah. Solve velocity analytically. Jesus. What? uh, okay, minus log what? What is this? Huh? Uh, can you show me the full codes for option 3? Jesus Christ. Convert damping factor, continuous coefficient. What? Handle edge case. No damping. Okay. Okay, so this would be, yeah, okay. Okay. So, K lock. Okay, well damping. Jesus Christ. Well, that's really complicated. Dang. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, let's run this and see what happens. I have my doubts that this will work, but we'll see. It looks way too complicated. This is not a good sign. Probably would need some helper function for this. Because this will not be the only case where we apply dampening. Yeah. Oops. Okay, let's see. Okay. There we go. It does look consistent, doesn't it? Let's compare it against the original. Okay, let's put them up here. Okay, it does look different though. Does it not? Like this puff is way smaller here. It looks consistent at least, right? So that's good. But it doesn't. Yeah, let me say it appears to be consistent looking at different timescales. It's really hard to say because there's like variance here, right? It's not consistent. It makes it a bit hard to judge. Yeah. But just eyeballing it, it looks consistent, right? Yeah, but it looks a bit faster than this here. Right. It spreads more apart. It moves a bit faster than this. It appears to be consistent looking at different time scales. Can we somehow extract a helper function for the damping? Can we perhaps isolate a helper function for the damping, because it will not be the only code that uses dampening. Recommended damp step results. What is this? What? Integrate damped. What? This looks way too complicated. Ugh. I don't like it. Integration, order, and scaling. Apply acceleration, apply damping. Still not perfectly time invariance. One full step. 2 half steps. They are not exactly equal. Okay, this goes way above my head. Position should integrate velocity over the interval, not just use the final velocity. Improve position integration. derive the exact. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Physically correct, so it may feel slightly different from your old system. No hidden energy loss gain. Hmm. Hmm. Oh man. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Air drift. Hmm. It's quite a bit complicated. Uh, hmm. Um, given the following version, can we simplify this further? Jesus. Drift well. Pre-compute. Hmm. Okay. It's less understandable even. It's hard to understand this shit. Oh boy. Hmm. Hmm. What we can do is we can move the drift up here. Hmm. Vnf. Hmm. Well, this is quite a bit complicated. Is there a simpler approximation for damping, for general purpose damping, damping integrations? Exact solution is nice, but not worth the complexity. You already discovered the gold standard. For general purpose use, there are much simpler approximations. Use your original structure, but improve just one thing. Use average velocity for position. Average velocity. Velocity. Why this works well. Keeps your simple mental model. Fixes the biggest source of error, position integration. Still handles damping correctly. Removes most visible time step discrepancies. Okay. Okay. Let's try that. So we remove all of this here. Let's take a copy of this here. So we get the velocity. Let's call this initial vel. Yeah? Initial vel, and then so now it adds acceleration, and then it adds the damping. Okay. Position key improvement. Position. So so position plus equal x plus equal v dot x v dot x times that times time scale, yeah. Okay, like so, and then just a drift, yeah, just a drift at the end. Okay. Integrate drifts into position velocity. Okay. Say here approximation. Okay. Integrate damping into velocity. Okay. Then let's give that a spin, see how that looks. This looks more humane, I would say. Yeah. I can live with that. So basically, the key difference is now it takes like this initial velocity and then use an average of these, of the initial one and the new one. Okay. And apparently that should help, yeah? Let's see. Okay, so how does that look? Hmm. Let me remove this other hack that we added. The one with the dampening. Oh no, it's a bursting, I mean. This one. Hmm. Huh. Hmm. Man. Why is this so hard? Why is this so hard? Can someone tell me? Why is this such a bullshit, eh? Okay. Now, got that. It looks different than this. Well, initial well. Acceleration. Well, damping. Initial well. Near the spawn of this particle, there is like a short moment where it shifts really fast into one direction. By the looks of it. Something is not right here. There. I'm not happy with the visual discrepancies. It's not looking good. It needs to look exactly the same, especially when the time scale is 1. Then it must be an exact match. So right now we can already see there's a discrepancy here. That's already a bad sign. Yeah. Like these are much further apart here, these particles, than here. I wonder what does the will start with? Oh, well, it doesn't really matter because okay, let me test the one that we had before that. This one. Oh, I'm losing my mind here on this. Man. Okay, so. So let's compare this visually. There we go. Okay, I would say this looks very, very similar to this, right? This looks very, very good. So at 30 FPS, we are good. Everything looks as expected. Now, if we decrease the render FPS, then things start to go differently. Now they're moving faster. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the size of the particle looks just comical. The one in front of the gun. The hit particle. Yeah. Also a bit too large. Show me. Man, why is it so laggy? Why is it so laggy? Particle. Why is the window so small here? What is this? I'm going nowhere here. I don't know how to solve it well. Yeah. Or we just accept it. Discrepancy. Is there another way we can scale the damper, the damping to approximate it similarly? frame is longer or shorter than logic step, scaling the damping like this. That's exactly what you've been doing. Alternative. K is a damping coefficient. K1 minus well damping. Works well for small time steps. Rational extra. I would like to stick with both, but use a different approximation. But add another scalar to when time scale is not one, to avoid discrepancies. Discrepancies on higher render frame rates. Compensate for the subtle frame rate dependencies. Yeah. Common trick. The idea is introduce a frame compensation factor. Scale factor depends on time scale and optionally on fixed logic step versus render step. For render step faster than the fixed step, time scale smaller than 1, slightly increased damping to compensate. For slower steps, slightly reduced damping. Yeah, how do we do that? A simple way to compute the extra scale. Base damp, yeah. Compensate factor, scale slightly based on time scale. 1 example. Scale factor is larger 1 for small time scale, fast render, more damping, okay. Scale factor 1 for time scale 1 unchanged, okay. You can tweak 0.5 constants to tune the effect. Alternative simpler approach. You can also combine it directly. With damping scale is a simple helper. Damping scale. Time scale times damping scale. Is a simple helper. Damping scale. Slightly increased damping for faster render rates. 0.1f is a tweakable parameter. 0.1f tweakable parameter. Damping scale. Slightly increased damping for faster render rates. Okay, and given I can suggest a tiny formula for damp scale, adjust for any time scale. Yeah, give me. Show me. Show me. Simple formula. Damp scale. Smooth scale factor. Corrects fractional time steps. Formula. Scale. Jesus. Log +1 time scale times what? Log approximates continuous decay. Exactly. What? Replace with your well damping. If constants per type. Damp scale. Per step damping. Well damping. Okay, let's take this. Yeah, let's just see what happens. So we put that here. Let's call it a calc damp scale. Okay. Oof, there are 2 locks in there. Oh boy. And a branch even. Yeah. Replace with your M-well damping if constant. We want the effective damping to match the continuous exponential damping. The trick is to compute damp scale so that the integral over the frame matches the continuous decay. Closed form approximate scale. What? I don't understand where this one comes here from. Replace with your M-well damping. For any, it keeps existing. No branching. K. Repeated lock counts. K. Lock. I would. Why is D equals 0.9? F. My example wasn't meant as a literal value, it was just a placeholder. You should use your actual per step damping. Ugh. What? compute scale. Compute scale. What? Well, damping. Prevent divide by 0. Time scale. Damp. Okay. Calc damp scale. So time scale and damping. Damping. Okay, then let's do here real damp scale equals that. Time scale. Okay. Damp scale. Then this one is time scale times damp scale. Yeah? Okay. Damping. Okay. Oh, oops. Let's call it the val damp scale. It looks very expensive though, doesn't it? Because now for every particle we need to calculate this shit here as well. See how it looks. I have a bit suspicious about it. It would be nice to have like one value which can be plugged into all the dampeners, right? Like some approximation. It doesn't need to be super exact, just like roundabout that it makes sense for the given time scale, right? So you would just need to compute this thing once every frame and have this additional damp scaler, which then, depending on the scale, time scale, will scale the exponent just a little bit. Oh, I already saw the particles. Oh yeah. Oh. Well, that doesn't look right. Yeah, that looks bad. Okay, well, that's not the right solution. Let's see. Let's do like so and so. Yeah, that doesn't look right. um, let's take a look what it actually calculates. 9.8 times scale minus 9.8. Well, that's not right. The suggested stamp scale function does not produce good results. We just need some damping scale, just some damp scalar that approximates a fair result for different timescales. Simple practical fudge factor, yes. Damp scalar, yes. Just 5 to 15% based on how far from 1. Slightly more damping for faster updates, slightly less damping. You can tweak 0.1f to taste, smaller or larger depending on how visible. Yeah, let's test this then. So calc damp scalar. Let's do damp scale. Let's do like this damp scale. Okay, then we remove this. Okay, let's test that. 5 to 15%. Why does it say 5 to 15? So if we had, if the timescale was 0.9 as is 0.1, then we would have a 0.1 times 0.9. Yeah. Okay, so it would become faster. Huh. Okay, let's see. Okay. 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 Okay, it's still faster. Let's say on the damp scale. So that's 1.8, 1.08. Okay, how about we increase that a bit? Let's do const exp const real damp strength 0 to f. Let's just call it strength. Strength, okay. Okay, let's see how that looks. Okay, so far so good. It still looks fast, doesn't it? Should does this damp scalar does this need to be incorporated to all dampeners? Yes, if it goes frame rate consistency, then any attribute that is damped should use the same kind. Okay. Okay, then let's do that. Let's add it consistently. So let's do const float damp scale. Let's do a calc damp scale. Damp scale. We can do time scale times damp scale. Then here we use damp scale. Maybe we call it damp exponent. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. Did we have any other ones here? POV? Yeah. No. Okay, just these three. Okay, let's try it again. Let's try to fine-tune the strength then of this dampener. Maybe we can get it to something that looks reasonably okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, how does that look? Let's see. Okay. Okay, that doesn't look too bad, I would say. Let's do a bit faster. Okay, it still moves faster, I would say. Yeah. A little bit. Not much. So at 30 it should be very similar, yeah. I think that looks pretty good. And at uncap, it's still... It still looks a bit faster, maybe. It's hard to judge, really. A little bit faster, I would say. Yeah. Let's increase it to 0.3. Let's test it again. Seems like a hack. Seems like a hack. But if it works in practice, and it's just good enough, then I think I'm happy with that. Yeah. Yeah. Just needs to be cheap. Cheap and good enough looking. Yeah. So let's take a look at that. Okay. Okay, it looks very similar, I would say. Yeah. I think it's very comparable, right? Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty decent. Yeah. Okay, cool. I think we can go with that. Let me a strength of 0.3 looks okay. Can you write a description for this function to explain its intent? Man, ChatGPT lags hard. Look at this. Okay. So. Oh boy. Computes a small compensation factor for damping to reduce frame rate discrepancies. This function generates a multiplier that slightly adjusts the effect of damping applied to all. Just effect of damping. When the rendering time step differs from the logic time step. Time scale is 1. Return value is 1. Time scale is, say, equals is less than is larger than slower render frames. The return value is less, say it's greater. So the adjustments of my typical values. Affecting the overall damping behavior at normal time scale. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 It's quite a bit, quite a lot. Typical values. It provides. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think I'm happy with the dampening. This looks presentable, I would say. Now, the only issue still remaining is this one here. We haven't figured that out yet. Why this light is bigger? So we have damp XP, damp scale, time scale, damp scale. Damp scale. Damp XP. Yeah, why is this light blob so large? Yeah. Good. So we did figure that if we increase the burst delay, then it looks okay. So what is wrong with the burst delay? What is wrong with the burst delay? Burst delay left. Burst delay left. So, burst delay left. What is wrong with it? We should probably also add a preserve retail particles. Return preserve retail look of particles. Original look of particles present. Let's do that. So what's wrong with the burst delay? Burst delay. If we set it to 2, then somehow magically it looks okay. Why? The burst delay is set to 1 here. 1. Burst delay is 1. Then why? If we multiplied it by 2, then somehow it looked good. Why? It makes no sense. Think about this. Maybe this value here needs to be 2. No, that can't be. Or can it? let's think about this. So if you enter here and then you set it to 1, then it will take at least one update to hit this, right? And then another update to reach this condition. Yeah. So there will be at least 2 frames, right? So this, and it hits this next frame, and then the next frame it reaches this again. So there will be always 2 frames difference. Or am I mistaken? Yeah. I think this number needs to be 2 here. Yeah. 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 First delay. First delay. First delay. So let me see the burst delays that we get here. So sometimes we have a 0, 1. Yeah. But one essentially is a 2, right? Or is it not? A 1 is a 2. Because it will take 2 frames. Well, you set it to 1. Yeah. Yeah, the way this is written is tricky. I see. Maybe we need to add to this burst delay always 1. So a 1 becomes 2. A 0 becomes 1. Aha. I think that makes sense. Yeah. So let's do if preserve retape particles, and then we do plus equal 1. Say here plus 1 because it would have taken always 1 full logic frame to the next burst. Yeah. I think maybe because it, let's say it needs at least, because let's say because at least one full logic frame needs to pass for the next burst. I think that makes sense. So we always add 1 to every burst value, because you always need 1 logic frame at least for the next burst, because that's what the original did as well, right? It went in here. Yeah. Let's try that. I think there's a good chance that this fixes the problem. Let's add a comment. The super hackers add tweak. But then but I'm not sure, because then it means like if we have a burst delay of 5, it becomes 6. Like that also can't be correct, right? So I'm actually a bit suspicious about this. Let's just test it. Let's see how it looks. So it still looks pretty big, doesn't it? Or not? Let me see. No, it looks very similar. Okay. It looks very similar. Okay. Looks pretty similar now. Let's see some other things. Like, I don't know. This reactor. looks pretty similar, I would say. Yeah, I'm still a bit worried here. Let me think this through one more time. So we have a burst delay of 0. Yeah, then we need to pass at least one full frame to reach the next burst, right? So that makes sense. Let's say the burst is 1. 1, and then we add another one, so it becomes 2. And then we do a... And after 1 we reach this. And then we'll take another frame to reach that. Another frame. And if we, let's say we have 3, 2. Yeah, I think the +1 is correct. To pass. Yeah. I think 1 is correct. +1. Okay, let's look at some other particles, like... let's increase the render FPS to 120. And let's get a plane. Let's get a plane. Okay, so those are particles, look good to me. Let's get the King Raptor. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. I think this looks fine. Let's shoot a little bit. Yeah, okay. Let's get, I don't know. Let's get the China dozer. War Factory. Okay. Let's get the Gatling tank and this guy and this guy. Yeah, let's get the new cannon. Let's get the bomber. Let's get this EMP bomb here. Let's shoot with a Gatling tank. Okay, that looks fine. Let's use the Dragon tank. Okay, that also looks normal. Let's compare this with this one. Let's get the Dragon tank. Oof. Okay, there we go. Okay, this one looks different, I think. Aha. Okay, something is wrong here. We are missing this lightness here. This one is much brighter. Aha. Okay, something is wrong here. Okay. Well, that's not good. Let's see if we decrease it. Aha. It still looks wrong though. Oh. This one looks much brighter. Much brighter. To me, it looks like that the tank, that the flame wall, the movement is slower. Or am I mistaken? Okay, so visually it's certainly different. This one is much brighter, and the movement looks weird. Doesn't look the same. Why not? Why is the movement different? Or do I see this wrong? Oh, the top one is faster. The top one is faster. Somehow. Huh. Wow. Are they the same China here? Let me get the other China here, this one. Yeah, it moves slower. Ah, maybe the logic time step was slower. That could be. Now it moves the same. Yeah, I think I had the logic time step set to 25 or so. That's why. Okay, now it looks comparable. Okay, that's good. Okay, but the flames themselves, they look darker. They're not as bright, so something is wrong there. Let me see the direct flame. Oops. Yeah, we can already see it on the direct flame. It's darker. Yeah. I wonder if that is now... Okay, I wonder if this one is responsible for it. That now it's too little. Let's think about it again. Let me... Burst delay. Let's delay. So it's 1. Now, okay, let me set that, let me remove that and test it again. Something is wrong there. Okay, but at least we know where to look, so that's good. We have some ideas. Yeah. Okay. So let's try that again. So drink tank, and we shoot. Okay, so this one already looks richer in particles, doesn't it? 30, 30. Yeah, so this one looks very nice. Yeah. Okay, so it's definitely the burst count. Okay, then how do we need to set the burst count? So for some particles, we somehow need to set it to 1 and for +1, and for others, not. I'm missing something here. Let me think about this. Okay, but it's already a good hint. Yeah. So if the burst count is 0, burst delay is 0, I mean, not the count. Burst delay is 0. Then we would, after 1 frame, we would enter here again. No. Hold on. I just realized this one is wrong here. This one would need to be put in here. Yeah. I see. Yeah. This burst delay here is set at the wrong position. Yeah. I see. I think what would need to happen, if it wasn't for this here, then here we would have to do the burst delay left and then minus equal time scale, right? Like this. If not. But that's not the case. So what happens here is else. How about we do this here at the end. We say if this else, then here we say it would be better if we put it here. So if not that, then with that, okay. And here we say else. Else to that, okay. Great. Then here we do and if so if the burst delay is 0, then we first have to then if it is 0, then we'll take 1 frame. Well, it will always take 1 extra frame, doesn't it? The plus 1 here should be correct, or not? I thought so. If the burst delay is 0, then it would enter there. I see. There's another discrepancy here. So if the burst count is 0, then it would always take 1 frame. But here in our case, it would take 2, because it would first go down here. Yeah, well, that's not right. So, I see. Could it be that we need to remove this here? And then, so like this. So we always add 1. And then we remove also this here. So it's always 1. This might be right. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Let's try that. Yeah, the burst delay is very tricky the way it's implemented, because it has this else branch here where it does not always increment, decrement the time left, not on every update. Yeah. Okay, let's test the Dragon Tank first. Okay, there we go. Let's shoot. Okay, that one looks nice and juicy. Okay, cool. And that, but that doesn't look nice and juicy anymore. Or does it? Let me see that. No, that one is not as juicy. Yeah. Because if it was 0, but then I would still take 1 frame. Yeah. We have one. Maybe this one here. Maybe this one needs to be behind it here. Does that make sense? Well, it shouldn't make much of a difference, right? Whether we do it before or after, I think that doesn't make a difference. Nah. Nah. Okay, I don't know how to solve this problem now. Well, it looks close, doesn't it? It looks close. Let me shoot at the same distance. So it's like so. Okay, so this is round about the same. No, it actually looks very similar, doesn't it? Maybe it's a bit less bright. It's hard to say. Like I do see some bright spots in here as well, but I have the impression that here are more. Let me go down to. Yeah, now it's juicier. Yeah. Yeah, definitely there's less, yeah. Now it's very obvious. Now it is obvious. Okay. Okay, I think I will take a break here. Yeah, we made a little bit of progress, but this problem is harder than I thought it would be. Yeah, but I think it's important that we do it right. Like we don't want any we don't want to have the particles look much different or just a tiny bit different afterwards, right? So especially at 30 logic tick and 30 render FPS, they should look exactly the same. Like there should be no discrepancy. So we really need to nail this. And this one is very obviously very obvious, not right. Okay, I will take a break here. Next session, let's think about this more. The error is here. The error is here. I just don't see it right now. Yeah. Okay. So, and I wish you a great day or night. Until next time. Goodbye.